This might be the rarest Ferrari we've ever restored. The most scarce Ferrari we've had in the shop. Can you believe? This extremely rare Ferrari 250 GT from over 60 years ago. The paint was cracked and flaking all over the body. Everything on the car rattled except the engine, which didn't make a sound at all. Was already in a terrible state. Not to mention, mice had already built nests inside the car. Had been eaten away by moisture and corrosion. Watch as we strip the whole car down and restore it, and see what it looks like when it's finished. Enough talking, let's start tearing it apart. At this point we discovered that this paintwork was also a later respray. The paint thickness varied all over the body. No wonder the paint was cracking. This also meant the underlying panels were uneven and wavy as well. Next, our electrical master steps in. He records every electrical component that needs replacing and counts the quantities required. The leather wrapping the dashboard has aged and split. It feels like every piece of leather could crumble into fragments at any moment. Next we start dismantling the interior. Inside the dashboard it's like a little jungle. There might even still be a few mice hiding in there. Many of the switches and buttons on the dash are missing. Those pieces can only be recreated by hand from scratch. Behind the dash, wiring, weeds and twigs are all tangled together. Our technician can only sort them out one wire at a time. Under the seats, everything is just crumbled, degraded foam. For the remaining shell we begin stripping the underbody paint. First we lift out that V12 engine. Here it is, the engine in all its glory. There are even weeds inside it. We can only hope the inside isn't too bad. What you see now is every single part from this car. Because the schedule is tight, all of our technicians in every workshop join in and take part in the restoration. This engine has some serious issues. So first we clear out all the weeds and debris. One of the piston rings is badly rusted and completely stuck. Carbon buildup and rust are blocking passages everywhere. We keep tearing down the remaining camshafts. A thorough cleaning and service will be enough. Are sent off for ultrasonic cleaning. The valve stem seals and related pieces can only be replaced with new ones. Our voltage testing the starter and other motors. Because the engine block is extremely precise in its construction, our technicians have to do everything by hand. After washing, the valves go onto a valve vibration machine to free up any sticking or seizure. We use kerosene to do a valve sealing leak test. After the test is passed, the valve overhaul is complete. Nearby, the piston rings and cylinder liners. Next comes checking the clearances between all the different engine components. Because the car is so old and documentation is scarce, we spend a huge amount of effort here to make sure the final result is right. Then assembly begins. Once the engine is assembled, it has to go through a series of running tests, so it's ready for final real-world testing in the car. Come and listen to this naturally aspirated V1 from over 60 years ago. After that, the engine can go to the paint booth for a protective coating. At this point, the engine restoration is complete. Meanwhile, For the body, we're about to begin stripping the paint. Isn't this super satisfying to watch? Here comes something even more satisfying. With such a thick paint layer, no wonder the paint thickness gauge readings were all over the place. Every nook and cranny has to be cleaned thoroughly. There's a lot of leftover dirt and sand. Once the old paint is completely removed, the body goes to the booth for primer. After the primer is done, follow the camera underneath to see the floor and structure. There are areas where the metal is thin as a cicada's wing. Dozens of spots like that all over the car. Panels you can poke through with a light tap are honestly terrifying. Now our metal shaping masters take over and rebuild the structure of this classic Ferrari on the spot. First, they weld the support frame inside the car to prevent the shell from deforming again during the repairs. This 250 GT uses a steel frame structure, so we select matching steel and cut it to size. Bend lines are marked on the sheet metal. Then it goes to the bending machine and is adjusted to suit each repair area. Repeating this process, we make repair patches for every section. Then we apply epoxy primer. This undercoat gives better corrosion and rust protection, so the repaired areas don't rust out again. And it gives the color coats a much better surface to adhere to. With that, our repair sections are ready. Now, we just cut out the rotten areas on the car and weld these in their place. Next, the hood, the doors, and other panels are refitted and aligned. During this stage, we constantly adjust panel gaps and shut lines to match the original factory fit as closely as possible. Next, we pre-treat the chrome-plated trim pieces. There are quite a lot of them to test fit. Once the trial fitting is done, the exterior trim goes for further restoration, and the body goes back into the paint booth for filler work and more primer. Filler is applied and leveled, then hand sanded to restore smoothness. Epoxy primer is sprayed again. After the primer is done, the body has to go back for a second alignment session. The filler and primer inevitably affect the way panels line up, so this check is to cancel out that effect and further tighten the gap tolerances. Earlier we found the front grille had also corroded and deformed. Now, our technician starts on the grille restoration. We still use our wood buck forming method, the same technique we used when recreating the Ferrari GTO. That project used this method a lot. The full recreation video is also on our homepage. You can go there and have a look. Alright, enough talk. Let's keep restoring. First we cut the wooden boards and roughly shape them. Then clamp, trim and sand away the excess. For this step, we must strictly follow the original curves of the car and pay close attention to the corner radii. After the wooden buck is finished, we laminate sheet metal over it to form the outer shape of the front grille. The newly formed outer frame is then assembled with the pre-made inner metal slats in sequence. And just like that, the grille restoration is done. The steering wheel has also aged and cracked, so we trouble our wood specialist. Again we cut boards to the right size, laminate, glue and press them. This must be done slowly and carefully. If any crack appears, that entire strip of wood is scrap. While the wood is curing, we sand and polish the metal spokes according to the wheel size. We mark the positions of the mating grooves and make the cuts. Then the wood is joined around the spokes and shaped into a smooth circular rim. Next we switch to finer sandpaper and keep hand sanding for a finer finish. Finally, a protective top coat is applied and the wheel is done. Now the electrical techs start refurbishing the dashboard and its parts. First, all the components on the dash are removed, and the bare dash frame is sent to the spray booth, our trim and leather guys. Any part that really can't be repaired, we remake ourselves by hand. For example, this little copper contact strip. Once the paint and leather are restored, all the refurbished components are reinstalled, and the dashboard restoration is complete. In the other paint booth, the body is ready for color coats and clear coat. As expected, bright Ferrari red is still the most eye-catching. At this stage the paint surface isn't the final effect yet. Our painters still have to polish and sand the paint again and again until it becomes a mirror-like finish. These seats, the rear bench and the interior trim are all completely ruined. First we separate the foam from the covers. The core foam has aged so badly it no longer supports anything. Even the comfort foam has turned crumbly like biscuits. So we strip everything down. The bare metal frames go into the sandblaster to remove rust. The before and after difference is really obvious. Next we add new support webbing and springs to the clean frames. Then we move on to rebuilding the foam cushions. High-density foam is used as the support layer and is bonded to the frame. Support wires are embedded into the foam to help it hold its shape. Then softer low-density foam is cut to give the seat comfort and rebound. Combining high and low-density foams gives the occupants a comfortable seating experience. Next we measure the original stitching layout and pattern sizes, compare with the old covers, and cut the new leather accordingly. After sewing the leather panels together, we fit them over the rebuilt foam, and the seats are fully restored. The rest of the interior parts are finished at the same time. The final step is to put every restored component back onto the car. First we lay out the complete wiring harness. Next we install the heart of the car, the engine. Then the interior goes back in piece by piece. Now let's enjoy the final result together. Just finishing the looks isn't enough. Every car we restore must go through real-world road testing. High-intensity dynamic tests verify the quality of our work. That's the end of this Ferrari 250 GT restoration episode. See you in the next one.